Vechain had moved up pretty significantly over the last few days, so it's probably time to actually jump back down into the charts and give you all an update as to kind of what I think is going on with the price action of VET. As I get into this video, if you find it useful and informative, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out, linked in the description below. It's a fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free, and I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there, so why not go ahead and check it out. Let's jump right down into the video though. So let's start things off here. This is Vechain paired up with USDT on the perpetual contract via 𝗕𝗀𝗀𝗃 1 hour time frame. So let's go ahead and just review, right? So smart money concepts on here as well. So as we can see, the last video that we did was on the 16th of June. Where is that? Approximately here. So where this dashed line is, okay, where we're talking about a move to the upside. Okay, we actually had them move down, then we moved up. Okay, and as we can kind of see here, we saw this growth of about 6.56%. Now, that in yourself might not sound like a lot, but you got to bear in mind that if you are a leverage-based trader, that is very significant on the returns, depending on how many X leverage you use. Now, for the most part, that's actually quite sizable movements for Vechain in this bearish time that it finds itself in, because of course we are still in a bear market despite what some people are wanting to try to convince you of. We have gone down into new lower lows on many, if not it's not all, it's definitely many altcoins, things like Cardano, Vechain, and a whole host of others, right? There's a long list of projects that have gone down into new lower lows. In a bullish market, you don't have lower lows, you have new all-time highs after new all-time highs, right? Now, obviously, we're miles away from that kind of unfolding, but it's important that we understand that we're still in an accumulative phase for many of these altcoins. Bitcoin can kind of carry on doing what it's doing. It doesn't overly matter too much because that isn't going to be a big portfolio mover for you. Essentially, it's going to be the altcoins that you're building positions in for the long-term hold, right? Because holding altcoins over a very significant long period of time can be very profitable for when the bull market does actually arrive. And where we are right now is very significantly low on many of these altcoins, hitting these new all-time lows or new bear market lows, which is quite a significant accumulative opportunity for many people if they are willing to acknowledge it as such. It's definitely not the time to be avoiding altcoins, in my opinion. This is truly where the millionaires are being made. So as we see, a 6.56% move is quite significant. If we jump over into 𝗕𝗀𝗀𝗃, as I said, you can't really get Vechain VET on a spot trade, okay? So you can't come into the spot trading and find it on 𝗕𝗀𝗀𝗃, at least not yet. Much as I would love it to be there, it's not something that's currently listed. Maybe if anyone from 𝗕𝗀𝗀𝗃 is watching, maybe you want to list some Vechain onto the spot trading. I know I would be incredibly grateful, and many of the cheeky community would also be incredibly grateful. But it's actually under the USDTM futures or USDCM futures. I'm pretty certain it's under USDT. And if we come into here, we can come in and search for VET, and it should load up Vechain USDT pair. Okay, this allows us then to look at the contract. Now, here is not a spot purchase, which means you're not able to buy it and withdraw it and hold it. You're basically just kind of saying and gambling, essentially, price is going to go up or price is going to go down, and you're putting your money behind that bet, and you're using reasonable amounts of margin to make sure you have a good tight stop loss and, you know, a good take profit areas as well, right? And they're not, this whole video is not about leverage trading or anything like that. But what I am doing is showing you that you can see the order books in here, and you can see the imbalances in the order books get created through these fair value gaps. So you can see a fair value gap down here at the bottom. We moved down, we filled it, we've bounced up from it, right? So we're talking about a significant move up for Vechain in the last video, and we basically grabbed the fair value gap before moving on up, right? And you can kind of see that in here. Now, this is TradingView built into 𝗕𝗀𝗀𝗃, okay? Which means it's exactly the same as this one down here, but it's actually in the platform. This gives you a couple of benefits as well as a couple of pitfalls. So first off the bat, you can see it's a TradingView account, and you can draw on here and you can add your indicators and you can do your analysis here. You can also get the benefits of having all your trading data, order books, market trades, and everything else all at your fingertips, which is great. You can see all your orders, your positions, and all that great stuff. The downside is that it's a rather small window. Not all indicators are available to be used in here. So there are some pitfalls when it comes to the trading view elements of it, but you do have access to a lot of additional data. So if you're doing kind of price action stuff, when you're drawing stuff on here, you're not really an indicator heavy individual, then this will actually be a fantastic place to go where you have everything at your fingertips. But for the most part, I use a mixture of indicators and price action and technical stuff. So I actually have to use a trading view account as well to make it a little bit easier. So I'm flicking between the two. But for the most part, Vechain, if you're looking for it and you're a leverage trader, then you can actually use BitGet for it. There's an affiliate link in the description below if that's of interest to you. Let's jump back into our analysis, right? So as I said, 6.56% can be quite hefty under a leverage position. We're talking about a pump to the upside. We've seen the pump to the upside. We also see this as a potential 5-wave structure. So we're going to go ahead and sense check that. We're just going to go ahead and pull this in. Okay, cool. It's just a 335 by the looks of it, coming in here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 there, but essentially it is actually just A, B, and C like so. So that's looking interesting. Now from the high end here, it does look like we've finished a corrective structure. Let's go ahead and sense check that while we're here. We just want to make sure that everything is in line. It's actually a little bit deeper than you would expect it to, coming down to the 1.382. So that could potentially now lead us into a W, X, Y, X, and Z. So a little bit further to the downside potentially here, as we did overextend the normal range that we'd expect for a C wave structure. So that puts us again in a interesting position. I'd also look at this as a 5-wave structure right inside here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So we have that structure, that microstructure right inside there. We don't really have a good structure here. So again, it looks like 335 to me right inside there. So we could argue as well, it doesn't really have the internal workings of a WXYXZ. So we could just look at that as done. We can then also look at this as also a bearish setup though. So although a WXYXZ is where it might actually end up looking like, I don't think that's technically correct. I think actually we'll probably just have to look at this as a flat corrective structure, regular one at that. Whereas, this is actually looking quite bearish in itself because we are going up into the higher highs and the higher lows, and that will have a tendency to want to break on down. So it might look like WXYXZ or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't think that's really what's going on. I think it's a string of corrections all being pulled together here. A big W, X, and Y potentially looking at those lows. Now let's just kind of tidy this up just a fraction outside of the Elliott wave. Now we kind of have an idea of what's going on in terms of those structures. I mean, there's not much to kind of worry about. We can see obviously fair value gap wise, right? So we can see that we had our fair value gap here and it got filled out, okay? But in doing so, we also created a new fair value gap here, and it hasn't been marked, okay? And this one comes in at 1.488 to 1.503. So expectations will be that we'll eventually come back and fill this gap out as well. Have I missed anything else gap-wise? I don't think there is any other gaps in here worth noting that we haven't already grabbed. So that's kind of the one on the daily time, on the hourly time frame. That's kind of the next one to kind of keep an eye on. Now, from our daily time frame, you can see that our accumulation zone has been, and for quite some time, 1.231 to 1.484. We've come down, we're wicking into this area. This is an area where there's going to be a lot of buying pressure. I still suspect that we're going to have a significant surge to the upside. As you can kind of see, our monthly, weekly, and daily are all in oversold positions, meaning that there is going to be a big swing in Vechain's price action to the upside. So we're looking at 1.2 to 1.4 being a great accumulative phase for Vechain, where I'm not too fussed about whether I'm buying at 1.2 or 1.4 or 1.5. I think all of these are actually pretty decent values because essentially we'll be looking at pushing back up towards 2 cents, possibly even 2.5 cents when we start moving out of the oversold range on the monthly and weekly timeframes. So essentially I'm not too fussed or too concerned. Essentially I have a nice, cheap, in my opinion, and undervalued, in my opinion, range to accumulate Vechain's VET token. Okay, and again, that will be under spot trading, not under leverage trading. I wouldn't want to be using leverage just yet. I'd want to kind of, if I'm not long on the market under a long-term position, I want to confirm that we're in a bullish market before I do such a thing. Now we can use leverage on short-term trading activities. That's all okay, but I'm not going to go long on thinking that we're in a bullish market until we get confirmation of that, and in which case then you can just let that thing ride for a significant period of time. But for the most part, we're talking spot we're going to be looking at accumulating and holding probably off exchanges, and definitely off exchanges in a something like Sync2 wallet or something to that effect, linked up to the Ledger hardware wallet, for example. That's how I operate, and therefore I have a strong position on Vechain that is not on an exchange. It's under a cold storage device linked to the Vechain Sync2 wallet. Now there is of course the ability to see maybe further downside under 1 cent, like 0.00799 to 0.00970 in the future, but I don't think that's going to happen just yet. We're end of structure here on the daily. We're looking at the cumulative phase, and then we're looking for a move upwards. After that move upwards, then we can start talking about another cumulative phase down here at a later date, and of course we can come out of those spot positions if we wanted to, and then reaccumulate later if that is something that we are thinking of doing. But for the most part, this is kind of where I think Vechain is at the moment. I think we're in a fantastic accumulative phase where we can see some pretty good undervalued altcoins along with Vechain, where we can accumulate and waiting for that next swing in the market to the upside. So yeah, I'm going to leave this video right there. If you have found it useful and informative, smash the like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications. And if you haven't yet joined us in Discord, check it out, linked in the description below. And if you're looking for a new exchange, why not check out 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗓, affiliate link in the description below. Until the next one, guys, have a fantastic day.
We are not financial advisors. None of what we have communicated verbally or in writing here should be considered as financial advice. It is not. Do your own research before investing in any digital asset or affiliate offers, and understand that investing in any crypto is risky. If you do, you need to be prepared to lose your entire investment. This video is for information and entertainment purposes only. All our videos are strictly personal opinions. Please make sure you do your own research and never take our opinions for financial guidance. There are multiple strategies, and not all strategies fit all people. Our videos are not financial advice.